Hi class, Jerry Jankowski here again. Previously we've done, this is YouTube and then this is Jerry Jankowski, so you can just go here and there's lots of uh, tutorials and PowerPoint lectures actually that I use to speak of in a more lecture format. The first one that I did in this series, we're working on a brochure for a gardens, a ski resort, or a animal shelter. And I'm picking a desert. I'm making a desert gardens. Again, this is totally fictitious. All of these should just be your own names. They shouldn't actually be places that exist. So you develop a logo first, and then we're going to start working on the brochure. So here you go with the desert. This one is the desert gardens logo, and I also did a car sticker. I show you how to do that. The second one's the brochure setup in InDesign. It's just very basic, just getting everything set up in the format that we want. All right, then you got to skip over here. Here's brochure setup in InDesign part 2. That's where we start doing some of the background stuff, getting prepped, getting all our content ready, getting photographs, thinking about text, thinking about sections that we might do. From me just trying to figure out what to do for this, I came up with the idea that this would be 3 different eco zones. So I was going to use different parts of the world. At first it was just going to be California deserts, and I thought, nah, why not do different parts? South Africa, Brazil. Brazil has a lot of tropical cactus. Okay, so let's just get rid of this right now. Here's my logo that I did. I am not going to use this one. Let's get rid of it. I don't like it because it looks like a little hat there. Whoops. Maybe we'll keep this for something. I don't know. Let's put this on the side. I'm going to use this, especially if I'm stating Desert Springs, I'm sorry, Palm Springs Desert Gardens somewhere. Why repeat it and repeat it? So I'm going to keep this. All right. So let's do a save, Command S, and put this aside. Here's my text. Start planning. Text is part of it. This is from my front panel here. Let's put that in there right now. Front panel. Label everything so you know what's what. Also, if you ever have to hand over another job to somebody else to finish, they have it labeled. That's a nice courtesy. I have Welcome to Palm Springs Desert Gardens. Explore 3 ecosystems of exotic desert cacti and succulents. I had and trees, but that sounded kind of odd. I was thinking of Joshua Tree, but just I'm going to forget that. So, and I have my 3 regions are American Southwest, South Africa, and Brazil. So I make a notation to myself to use the logo on the front panel, and here is my fictitious, the web address, okay? My www, okay? So that's that. So let's put this on the side and let's see where I'm at here. So as you can see, this is what we did the last tutorial, and this is the 8.5 by 11 horizontal. We have the bleed here, and then we have it in sections. Right in the middle of these 2 blue lines would be the fold. That's where this thing is going to fold. So it's going to be, this is called a 6-panel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 fold. 1, 2. All right? And it's good to get a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. I have one right here that I have, and for me to follow this, and so you can see what happens and what should be the front panel. Where a lot of students get it confused, they'll put the front panel here. I suppose you could do it so the front panel would work here, but normally you do it like this. We're going to do a simple gatefold. All right, so that's this type of brochure. All right, so here we go. Welcome to Palm Springs. I put all of this stuff in here like this. Okay, Command C, and then I took the text tool here, click, pull, Command V. Whoop, didn't even go in. There we go. So here's all the type here. I decided that I wanted some separate. I wanted these two separate. So what I did was I duplicated it, and I decide I'm going to do, this is going to be just that, and this is going to be just that. Okay, let's get rid of, well, let's not get rid of that. Let's just, well, let's get rid of this here. So we'll go on front panel. Okay, we can keep that there if we want. Okay, so then what I really did was, then I started styling this type. All right. On my logo, I used Myriad Pro. I want to keep using Myriad Pro. I like that font. So here we go. This is Myriad Pro here. If you look up here, Myriad Pro Light, 27 point. The leading is 30. All right. I also tightened it a little bit, minus 20. So what did I do? What did I do, right? Okay. I just noticed something here. I have this centered, which I think I will keep that. So let's get the tool here, the type tool. Go up here and click this. This is centered. This is a line left, a line right, and this is centered. All right. Okay, so first of all, I want to type in Myriad Pro. All right, there we go. And if you include all the family of Myriad Pro, when you download this, you get all of this good stuff, this big, big family of different fonts. See 40 here in this. So what do I want? I don't want bold condensed. What I want is light. Maybe light condensed. If there is a light condensed, yeah, there's a light condensed. Let's see how that works. This might actually be better. I think I set this at 40. Let's see if we can skip ahead. I think I kind of like this better than what I have here. See, this is what I have. Yeah, I kind of do. Welcome to the Palm Springs, probably Desert Garden should be together. So let's do that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select it all with the type tool. I need to take some of the letter spacing out, the tracking. So you go here, this is for tracking, and let's do minus 10. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Now there's too much distance in here from baseline to baseline. That's called leading. So let's take some of that out. This is the point size, 36. This is leading. It defaults to that. When it has a parens around it, that means it's a default. Let's do it closer to 36. Let's do 36, 36. That's not bad. It's a little tight, but that's not bad. Let's use this. I'm going to get rid of this and put this here. I just like it because it's more compact. Just in case I change my mind, which I always do, I'm going to put this here. Okay. Rather than spending a lot of time with doing the rest of this here, I'm not quite sure what that is. Again, this is a separate text box, and this is 12 point, bold, and this is light also, but not condensed. Okay? So that's how I'm setting this up. And again, I may change it. I just started this today, and I usually tinker around quite a bit with what I do. Down below, it's got the website. Okay, so let's put in the logo first of all. Let's get the logo. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Click, save. Let's get the logo. Here we go. Now this is Illustrator. I'm going to click and do a little marquee. So let's move this over here. Okay, we want this one. Because the reason is because I would use this, but we have Palm Springs Desert Gardens right above it. So I'm going to use this one. Command C to copy. Command V. And there we are. Now I'm going to hold the Shift key down so it stays in ratio. And I'm just going to make it really small. There we go. I might change that. It might be a little bit too small. But that's what I'm going to place right now. So this is right here along here. That's where the edge of the brochure is going to be. And I'm looking at my fold out right now, and I'm looking at what is on right next to it. And quite frankly, I want to put some color here. And quite frankly, the color can go to the back side, which I think would be nice. So I'm going to do that right now. So let's go to our rectangle tool. And I'm going to go right here in the middle of this. And I am going to... Now, there's two ways to think about this. You can actually... I had this color selected already in case you wonder where it came from. You can do it to the bleed line right away. That's the red line. I don't like doing that. You risk the fact that you may send it to the printer without doing it. But the last thing I do is what I call my idiot check, where I check everything to make sure it's all right. And that's where I pull it out because I just like to see it. I want to see how it actually looks after it's printed and trimmed. All right? And if you go here on the left, if you right-click this right here, go to Preview, and that's what it's going to look like when it's trimmed. Okay, so let's go back to normal. All right. Okay, here we go. So let's make sure this goes to the back. Object, Transform, Arrange, Send to Back. And there we are. So then we have a lot of this stuff coming up. It's pretty vibrant. So I am going to cut down on the opacity on this, okay? So where is that? It's right up here. So I'm going to cut down on the opacity. Again, I've got to be honest with you, there's a lot of this design as I started that I'm not 100% happy with, but I am going to keep working on it, all right? This is an actual demo I'm doing with you. This isn't something I've done a lot in advance getting this done. My colors will be this color. This is 79, so let's do this color at 80%. That'll be one of mine. And then the 100% will be another color. So those will be my two theme colors. Also these colors in here, the blue-green, and I have a brown. And the brown is right here in the stem too. And it's also in the DG, the brown. So these are the colors I want. I don't want too much brown because you think of the desert, oh, it's just boring and brown and rocks and dead stuff. And I want green. I want to show green, all right? So let's get some photos in here. Now, the last time we talked about gathering your photos. Here's my brochure, Palm Springs Desert Gardens brochure. Put everything in one folder. And then I have a folder in the folder called Desert Plants. Now, I've already, actually, this probably should be number 3 here. This is this label. Label stuff so you know what's where it is, okay? I'm going to label mine in order of how I'm going to use them. But these are a lot of the different photos that I downloaded from Unsplash, okay? Remember that? So one is, I'm calling it puntia because I know that's the word for prickly pear. And I'm going to use all 3 on the cover, okay? So why don't you check out how I do that, all right? I'm going to do them in strips. All right, so let's go here. Let's go here to the rectangle frame tool. That's what you use for photos. All right, I'm going to do the first one. Click, pull. I'm not doing it to the bleed. A lot of people would disagree with me about this, but this is how I like to do it. Okay? Now, what do I want to do? I want to place, I'm trying to look for it. It's Command D. I'm trying to look up where Command D is on here. When you use a lot of the keyboard commands, sometimes you kind of forget where stuff is on here. Ah, here it is, place. I'm going to use Command D for the rest of them, okay? So some things you should really get into the keyboard commands. All right, so here we go. Puntia. Open. And there it is. Way too small. So what should I do? Well, there's a lot of things I could do. Easiest thing to do, let's go up to Object, Fitting, Fit Frame Proportionately. The top one. And there you go. All right. This donut here is the actual photo in it. See how you can kind of move it around there? All right. So I'm going to move those puntias up there. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to click on it, hold down the Option key because I want it exactly the same size of a box. And I'm going to put the next one here. Hold it down, the Option Alt key again, and put it here. Okay, lots of puntia here. Okay, let's get some other cactus or succulents. Okay, Command D for place. Let's do the second one. Okay, again, the donut. There's the whole thing. You can look at it, kind of see where you want to. I think the middle here probably looks best. I want to get the top of that one right here. Okay. Now this one, last one, Command D. And I'm going to do some blue succulents. Open. All right. Looks good. I don't know if I even have to change that. If you want to make it smaller, you could. You could actually hold on the Shift key and you could make the actual photo smaller. Obviously, I can't make it too much smaller. And you can see I've changed all of this in advance. I've made these smaller. These were huge, these photographs. Make sure you change the size of your photographs and then place them. Okay, this one's a little off here. I don't know how that happened. Oh, I know. It needs, the photo needs to move over there. Okay, I'm looking at this. There's all that. Let's move some of this down. Okay, it trims right here, so this is fine here. These blue lines are just border lines. It's not the cut lines. The cut line is going to be right here. That's where it's going to cut, and this is going to get thrown away. Okay, let's look at it over here on the left. Preview. And this is going to be the fold right there. I like this. I like this with this color on the front, and then this is the back. This is the back side. So this is all centered. What would it look like if I did it aligned left? I'm really not much of a centered person, but I'm going to do it. I think it works better. Okay. I'm going to kind of line up the E with the D just because it seems like that's how it's working out. So move this. All right. Now I'm going to go again, right click, and let's go back to normal. Now, if I was finishing up, this is what I would do. I would click on every photo that extends to the edge and pull it out to the bleed line. See this? Each one of those. Okay, that one is short. Okay, this one's okay. This one needs to move over a little. And it looks like it's a little bit too small. So I'm going to make it just a little bigger. There we go. So how about this? How's this? This needs to be a little bit bigger too. Yeah. Okay. Extends there, extends there, extends there. What am I missing? I'm missing the background. This is the background, the golden color. There we go. There we go. And there we go, right there. Okay. I'm going to stop this tutorial, the next tutorial, and I think it's going to be the last tutorial because I think you can figure out the rest. One thing I want to emphasize with this is you are storytelling. You're telling a story about a place that you are creating. All right? I personally think this is really cool. But so much of what we do and so much of what we look at is storytelling. There's a narrative involved, that there's a beginning and some drama of discovery, and then there's an ending. Okay? So that's what you should be building with this. I will be changing my mind as I do this. So you might see me change some things. You might see me change colors. That's normal in the design process, and that's actually the way it should be. All right? So once again, I just want to show you now what it's going to look like cut. There it is again. You don't see any of that stuff. It's going to be cut off.